How about funding, European funding of some tourism, touristic business?
There are some funding for, it depends on the concrete project. There are some fundings. If they are considered of regional interest or cross-border interest, there are funds, for instance, for some areas of Europe, the preservation of the environment, preservation of the natural heritage. For instance, Greece has benefited from many funds from the European community for some monuments, conservation of monuments, museums, and this is also a way of supporting, of course, the great heritage of Greece. That is one of the important elements of the attractiveness of Greece as a very important touristic destination.
As you were told in Athens, Olympic Airways problem is over, and most people are relieved in Greece.
Yes, it was a very important case because we had to accept some kind of, let's say, rules that apparently were not at the beginning fully compatible with European Union competition policy, but at the end we found a good compromise, and in fact now the solution found for the Olympic Airways case is now being used for other cases of competition.
Such as?
I mean, we are considering it in some cases that are still under review, so I prefer not to say exactly which cases.
I can fully understand that. Once FYROM, our national affair, is solved, do you think Greece would have a stronger say in the Balkans?
I've already said this to my Greek friends, the government, Prime Minister Karamanlis and the other political leaders several times. Greece is the country of the European Union probably that knows better the Balkans. And so you have a natural expertise in that region. That region is very important for the future of Europe. Not only Croatia, we hope to have Croatia soon as member of the European Union, but other countries like the former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia, they have applied for membership, and other countries, hopefully they will join us. And so there are important interests there. And in fact, I would like very much to see this issue of the name solved. Because Greece is spending a great part of its political capital in that issue. That is, of course, sensitive. I understand it's a very sensitive issue for Greece, and I very much respect that. But what I have to ask the Greek authorities and also the authorities in FYROM is to work constructively for a solution, because that would give us even a more, let's say, importance to Greece in the region. You see, I think it is to be good from the Greek point of view, the Greek national point of view, that this problem is solved. Having said this, I understand the sensitivity, and I hope that the solution will be found in good harmony.
I had the chance to hear you speaking with some Greek academics about Plato, about our philosophers, and I realized how deep is your knowledge about ancient Greece. How about contemporary Greece?
I have a passion for Greek classic culture, this is true, for the philosophy. After all, we are all Greeks. We are all Greeks in Europe, because the heritage of classic Greece and also classic Rome, but it was Greece through Rome, is immense in our concepts, the way we see the world, the philosophy, and so I have a great respect. Modern Greece, I don't know as well, but I have some, for instance, I like very much, he's no longer alive, but your great poet Kavafis, Constantino Kavafis, it's one of
He's my favorite too.
It is one of my favorite poets. Once again, it's very similar, some of things he has done with a Portuguese poet called Fernando Pessoa. Constantino Cavafis, it was a great poet. And of course, I've seen also some of the contemporary composers, Xenakis, Melina Mercouri, many others.
And the new museum that
the museum I visited. I've had the privilege of visiting the museum before.
It is inaugurated.
It is inaugurated. I'm very grateful for that. I hope to come back again. I visited already twice to see how it is going to happen. the Acropolis Museum, but also the National Archaeological Museum in
What did you like in the new Acropolis Museum?
The new Acropolis Museum, I like the kind of dialogue it has established with the Acropolis. So when we are inside, we see the Acropolis. So I think it's much more convenient to have the pieces there than to have it where they were before. And there are very beautiful pieces there, namely the how to say, the marbles that was in the Acropolis itself. They are very beautiful pieces, but I also like the architecture, the way it is open in terms of light, and the dialogue with the Acropolis itself.
What is harmony for you, and equilibrium?
When we speak in terms of harmony in today's world, we still have as the reference, let's say, the pattern, classic Greece, in fact. It is the harmony of the classic temple. It is the harmony of the statues of Phidias and of the great, let's say, sculptures. The idea of an equilibrium between the proportions, the classic beauty of Venus. I mean, these are indeed the concepts of harmony that have permeated all Western culture and that have the roots in ancient Greece. In harmony, we can never attain perfect harmony. This is a very personal matter, but we are, of course, trying always to find an equilibrium. Politics and political activity is very important, but it is not the end of all human activity. To use the Greek expression, politics is not the alpha and omega of life. It is important to create the conditions so that, but the important thing is the human being, a concrete woman or a concrete man, how he or she can fulfill his or her aspirations, personal aspiration of friendship, of love. This is more important than politics, friendship and love. And in the public sphere, culture, art is more important than politics. I mean, if I ask you about some of the great politicians of the past, you may say one or two, but in fact, about Sophocles or Plato or about Shakespeare or Cervantes or Dante, the great creators, or Bach or Mozart, the great creators, I mean, this is indeed the most important thing. So I think it is important, those of us that have a political responsibility, to keep in mind that, after all, power is very relative. Power comes and goes, and that the most important things are values that, in fact, we have a responsibility to protect, like the value of peace, the value of freedom, and the value of justice. In fact, values that, once again, were already there in the beginning of the Hellenic civilization.